here we are. Really hope that you've been able to tune in live. I know that a lot of you will be catching the replay of this. And so either way, whether you're live, give us a little shout out. Let me know that we are good to go. And if you're watching the replay, just drop a little emoji or something like that just to let me know you're checking in. I am literally just back from a bike ride. So 10 minutes or 5 minutes ago or so, Leanne and I got in the door and it's now starting to pour. So we just missed the rain. But excuse my riding gear. I had a little break at lunchtime today, and so hit the road. Did about an 8 or 9k ride, which is a pretty cruisy ride, to be honest. It sounds, believe me, it sounds like a long way if you don't ride, but it was just a pretty cruisy half an hour. So today we're going to be talking about something, not the topic that I planned to talk about. We're going to go into that next week, I think, or a bit later on. But today is something really close to my heart I'm going to share with you just in a few minutes. But before then, just letting you know how this is going. For me, I think last week I was talking about the fact that last Wednesday was the lowest weight I'd been, which was pretty cool. Well, that's dropped even lower in the last little while. I think yesterday I dropped just on 100 kgs, which for me is pretty cool. That's probably down 4 or 5 kgs since I started. I don't remember the last time I was under 100 kgs. And so part of the goal is 21 in 21, dropping 21 kilos in 2021. That's one of the outcomes. You've heard me talk already about it's about metabolic health, not about weight loss. And so we've unpacked that a bit, and I'll go into that a bit more. But essentially, weight going down means that the choices that I'm making over and over and over again are really suiting my body. I'm currently in, 2.5 weeks into the 3-week fast that I'm doing, which is a portion control fast. So I haven't cut out any foods in particular. I'm not eating a lot of meat, not eating a lot of cooked stuff, but that's just lifestyle choices at the moment as opposed to something specific that I'm doing. But it's a portion control fast, so eating less and a lot of intermittent fasting. Feeling great for it. Right now, if I check my intermittent fast, I've been fasting, excuse me, I'm on an 18-hour fast right now. I've been fasting for 16 hours, 36 minutes and 36 seconds, 16 and a half hours. And I'll eat again in about an hour and a half, 2:30 Sydney time. And yet I've just done a bike ride. I feel full of juice and full of energy. And so one of the things that was going to be today's topic is talking about conscious eating. It's talking about fasting. It's talking about portion control. All something that's benefited me and I think could benefit a lot of other people too. I'm thinking if you're watching this, whether it's live, I'm not seeing any interaction just at the moment, so not sure how many are on live, but if you're watching this, I'm thinking of running a little challenge, maybe sometime in March. Who's up for a challenge? If you want to incorporate some things, I'm thinking maybe like a 7-day fast or a 48-hour fast or something. I'd love to hear from you as to what you want to do. It's not going to be a complete fast, but it's going to be a fast for you to implement what you think you want to do. To see how it goes, and so it might be a week of fasting, saying, "Look, I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to eat meat this week. I'm not going to eat dairy this week." It might be portion control. It's a great way to start. Actually, you're not cutting out anything. You're just being more conscious. If you're watching this and you want to do a challenge, just let me know in the comments, and we'll set up a little bit of a challenge inside of the group. I'm hoping to get the group a little bit more interactive. If you are watching and you're not interacting, then leave me some comments, let me know. And if you've got people who you think can benefit from the journey that I'm doing, that you're watching along with and maybe gleaning something from, share the group with them. I'll have to let them in. It's a private group, but letting them in is fine. Quick question as we go forwards. Just checking we're live. We are 4.5 minutes in. That's cool. I'd love to know also in the comments, is there anything that's sticking for you in terms of sticking in a good way or a bad way? No, let's stick with a good way to start with. Is there anything that is that's landing for you? You've caught up with a few of these live Facebook lives. You're sort of tracking along, watching the Project 21 journey. Sort of, what's going on there? But something's sticking in your mind, like, oh, that's interesting. That's possible for me. Is there anything? I'd love you to let me know. Again, this is like a very one-way thing, isn't it? Still got my little timer there. It's a very little one-way thing where I'm talking to you live, but I'm not hearing from you. And so let me know. Let me know what's sticking. Let me know what's standing out. But also let me know if there's anything that's challenging you or doesn't make sense or is just not landing. and we can unpack those things. I think if you're here and you're wanting to glean some things, you'll glean some from the Facebook Lives, but you'll glean plenty from conversations and interaction. So feel free. The group's for that. There's nothing to be, nothing to sort of be hidden from or anything like that. Yeah, we're all here to help each other get healthier. I'm here to do my personal journey, and if it helps you on yours, then I'm really, really happy with that. Blood sugar, the other thing I've been tracking, I talked about last week, I talked about biofeedback, and there's heaps of technical stuff. Excuse me a sec. Wow. There was heaps of technical stuff. We talked about tracking different things, tracking energy, tracking sleep, tracking stress, tracking blood sugar. My blood sugar has been really interesting this last week. I don't know if anybody's that interested, but I'll tell you anyway. I noticed that after I ate a meal last night, what we would generally expect is blood sugar to go up. It kind of makes sense. I've eaten something. It was a healthy meal, nice big bowl of salad, and then a little scoop of natural yogurt with some blueberries was what we had afterwards. So it's pretty healthy. But still, my blood sugar should have gone up. And yet, when I checked it after dinner, about 2 hours after I'd eaten, my blood sugar had come down. Really peculiar. I'm now fasting. I just told you about that. And when I checked my blood sugar before the ride, so literally an hour or so back, my blood sugar's gone up. Now I'm fasting at the moment. There should be no reason for blood sugar to go up. So there's just something interesting. Like at the moment, I'm going to dig into what that means. It may be that I could get technical. It may be that different parts of my body are metabolizing differently to put sugar into my system to sustain me. If that's the case, it's what I'm going to dig into. But if that's the case, that's brilliant, because that means things are coming out of being stored in my body, and who knows how long they've been stored there for. Energy gets stored in our body as a way to say, well, when I need this, it's there. All right. Right now, maybe it's that I need it. And so my body is saying, you know what, you're not eating. I'm not getting sugar from what you're putting in here, but I'm getting sugar from what I've been storing, either as in different ways. So the glucose that's been stored in the liver in different areas, muscles, etc. Hey, who knows? I'm on a journey too, and I'm discovering a lot of these things, obviously with a bucket load of background knowledge from being in practice for a long time. But yeah, I found that really peculiar. Anyway, we're going good. If you're there, give me a little shout out. Give me a hello. Looks like nobody's tuned in live, but that's cool. The topic that's really close to my heart, and I knew it would come out sometime, but today I really feel compelled that today's the day to talk about this. If you are on a journey where you want to get healthier, I don't mind what your goal is. I don't mind whether it's you want to drop weight, you want to get more energy, you want better hormonal control, better sleep, less stress, or all of the above. They're all the things that come with better metabolic health. Maybe it's that you want to play with your grandkids a whole lot more. Maybe it's that you want to keep up at work more, or you want to play sport better, or maybe it's you want to be in the garden a whole lot more. Who knows? That we've all got different goals and different motivating factors. And right at the start of this Project 21 journey, I outlaid a lot of the factors that were there for me. And I'm looking not just at this year, even though this is Project 21, it's a 365-day journey of metabolic health for me to get myself healthier. It's not just this year, it's saying, well, where do I want to be in next year, or 5 years, or 10 or 20 years? And how am I going to be showing up as a husband, as a friend, as a son, as a brother, as anything I am? How am I going to be showing up in that space 20 years from now when I'm in my 60s? What I do now determines how I'll show up then. As part of my motivating factor. In the midst of all of that, as I sat in January, which we called Mindset Month, February is Movement Month, so there's a lot of movement, riding gear, etc. The concept of self-love landed really, really heavily for me. Simply, it's not this God complex like I'm the most important person in the world. That would be narcissism, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what the Greeks would call philusia. It's the Greek word for love. And the Greeks have a lot of words for love. They have agape, they have pragma and eros, and they have philusia. Philusia is self-love. This is how much do I care about myself. At the foundation of every change that we want to make to improve ourselves or to grow ourselves, whether this is a health choice, whether this is I want to become a better parent, husband, wife, mother, father. I want to become a better teacher, chiropractor. I want to grow myself. At the heart of that, every single time, I believe, is self-love. And the reason I believe that is because if we don't treasure and value ourselves, if we don't find within ourselves the ability to love ourselves, then we will sabotage the growth. We will sabotage the movement forwards. Let's think of it in a really, really practical example. I may look at myself in the mirror and I may be carrying too much weight. I may have bags under my eyes. I may not be sleeping well. I may be exhausted and frustrated. And I tear my hair out and say, something's got to change. I've got to change something. You know what? I feel terrible and I look terrible. And so I'm going to go on a health kick. I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to exercise, blah, blah, blah. All of the things that happen. Here's your New Year's resolution kind of thing, hey? If the picture we have of ourselves in the mirror is one that disgusts us, or even, let's go less than disgust, let's go, is one that disappoints us. We look in the mirror and we go, oh, look at you. You really should shape up. We sort of have that chat with ourselves unconsciously. We don't verbalize it. Maybe you do. I don't know. I would think most of the time it's an unconscious chat. We've become self-critical. For some people, that's motivating. For most people, that's deflating. It might motivate you for a little bit, but over the long term, if we don't have this place of love and acceptance of ourselves where we put a value and a worth on ourselves, and then we will sabotage the movement forward. In other words, I might look and be disappointed or disgusted with what I see in the mirror, start to eat healthy, decide I'm going to cut the processed foods and I'm going to not eat out as much, and I'm going to cook my own meals, and who knows, I might even go raw or vegetarian or portion control or something, something. You make a drastic change. But if you don't love yourself and things get tough, the moments get difficult, the waves of life start to get big again. This is stresses. This is kids at school. This is finances. This is relationships. This is job pressure. This is global pandemic. This is this sort of stuff, the things that happen all of the time. When that happens, if we don't have a self-love, then we can come to a place where we don't respond as well as we should, which is going to happen, self-love or not, isn't it? And there's the potential we may not respond in a way that we really want to a situation that we really don't want to be in. When we're in a place of self-love, we look at that situation and say, excuse me one sec. When we're in a place of self-love, we look at that poor response of ourselves to a situation, and if love is in the midst of it, self-worth is in the midst of it, maybe we stop and we go, you made a mistake. You didn't respond well, but you're okay. You're not broken. You're not hopeless. In fact, deep down, you're beautiful. These are tough words sometimes to say to ourselves, but absolutely necessary. And what happens then is we draw all of our focus and attention back to the place of our worth and who we are, and we carry on the journey. We maybe forgive somebody who did or said the wrong thing. Maybe we apologize for doing or saying the wrong thing. Maybe we take a different perspective on the situation and seek to understand it. But we stay on track. We stay committed to this thing because we're grounded in who we are. We're grounded in love. Absolutely critical. The flip happens, though. It's happened for me a lot in life. And I know for a lot of people I talk to, it's similar, is where we have that disgusted, disappointed place. We do something that maybe we regret. We respond in a way. The same situation, something happens. We say something. We now get stressed by it. And that self-criticism, that voice comes up to say, you shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. That was a mistake. You're hopeless. You failed. See, it's all no good. These sorts of things, they come in. And so what do? We're on this journey where we're trying to look after ourselves. We've been disgusted and disappointed. We've been motivated by that, but now the stress comes up, and instead of being motivated to be healthy with the journey that we started, because it started in negative, it then ends up in negative when we grab ourselves a packet of chips or Tim Tams or something like that. We do something ultimately that we may regret even more. But we go down that place of self-sabotage because we're not grounded, we're not rooted and grounded in that place. So let me encourage you, if you're on this journey, Project 21, and you're saying, you know what, I want to learn some things and I want to make some changes, I'd love to hear about it. But the start point, Mindset Month was all about setting the right mindsets for all of this. I didn't talk about self-love. I wasn't quite sure how to frame it. Here it is, it's been framed. Okay, this is live. I can't take it back. And so from this place, start with self-love. Start with appreciating who you are. I know a lot of people feel like imposters if they're sort of overachieving. They feel like, oh, I don't deserve to be here. I feel like that imposter. Other people feel like failures. And I don't know whether either of those fit for you. But I just want to say that who you are is absolutely valid. Who you are to those around you, to your family, to your friends, even if those relationships are a little bit strained, you're unique. You're absolutely treasured. People may not know how to tell you that. They may not know how to say that. You may not know how to tell that to other people. But it's still true. You're valuable. You carry a richness inside. And I want you to start to look for that. I want you to start to find that. Reach out to me on private message if you want to have a little chat about that, because I think it's really, really crucial. Maybe the start point is to start to see that in others, to start to call that out in other people and say, you know what, you are a treasure, you are valuable. Maybe you do it verbally, maybe you just start to position your heart in such a way that sees the treasure in your family and in your friends and in your kids and in your workmates, you know. Maybe start there. Getting healthy is the number one goal for so many people. You know, they want to get healthy, lose weight, energy, all the stuff we talk about. I want to sleep better and less stress. It's like utopia. I'm convinced that it starts with self-love and self-worth. And so if you want to do this journey, that's the place to start. That's the big mountain. It's hard because our society does never model that, unfortunately. But I often like to say that if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. It doesn't mean that it's, the fact that it's hard doesn't mean that it's impossible. Doesn't even mean that it's complicated. It just means that it's hard. It takes time, takes practice, and takes a willingness to look at yourself in the mirror and actually appreciate who you are. Project 21 today has taken a slightly different course from where I was planning on it. Next time, the plan is to talk about portion control, maybe conscious eating and a few things like that. But today I felt really compelled to talk about this. It's changed my world in the last few years. I know those around me, some people who I'm very close to have walked a similar journey. It's changing their world too. Just imagine if we can all grasp this and we can all call that out in each other and we can all see it in ourselves. I think the world will be a whole lot better. I'm trying to say the world will be a better place. Sounds cliched. Kind of wanted to find different words for it, but I didn't. You know, the world will be a better place if we can all appreciate ourselves better. And then, by the way, health goals, they'll come on the back of that easily. I'm going to check out there. We're just about 20 minutes. I hope that you've been able to tune in and get something valuable. I'd love to hear what you're loving. I'd love to hear what you want to know. Leave me some comments. I'll check in soon, gang. Take care. Bye.